Hey A&P, this is Dr. Jones checking in. This is A&P 1, and I believe we're doing the lab intro video. I did record this last night, but it didn't take, which occasionally happens. So we're going to re-record this now. So here we go. And let me get me out of the way here. And it says did not record. I'll re-record in the morning. So here we are. A little past morning, but we'll get it done. Okay, so in the lab sections, again, there will be an intro video here, and any updates I have, reminders, things that have changed. Sometimes if I get a lot of questions about one topic, then I'll address it with a whole group. This would be a place where I can do things like that. When I do change this, I will change the name of the group to L1 Intro, and then put updated and the date that I updated it. So if you looked at one update and now there's 3 different dates, then there's 2 more updates for you. So time to click. And next. Did it go? Okay, so here's the what to learn for test 1, for lab 1. Sorry, I remain in the way. And the laboratory assignment book is your most important tool for lab this semester. Everything starts in the laboratory assignment book. And there's my email. My phone on my desk still works, but I'm no longer there. And I'm pretty sure there's a way to call in, and I don't know what it is. So this is version 6.0. There might be a newer version. If you check yours, you might have 6.1. It looks like this one is 6.1. So this is a newer version that we have a digital copy of. So this is the digital copy of this lab booklet. If you want a bound lab booklet, you can go to one of the libraries, or bookstores, and grab one. If you can print, then feel free to just print these off and have your own paper copy. Okay, so if you are new to anatomy and physiology at Del Mar, I want you to know that these terms that are in the booklet are the right answers on the test. The lab tests are fill-in-the-blank questions. And as such, we type in the answers that get credit. And these are the answers that are typed in. Okay, so different versions of the same, sometimes you Google something and there's a different term. And it might also be accurate, but that's not what we are grading for. Not an in-person class with a little more leeway to, yes, that's also accurate, or yes, that's the older term, we still use it some. But for these online classes, it's a whole lot more of, I need you to type in the term on the list. And here's the kicker, spelling counts, because we cannot guess all the different ways that these terms can be misspelled or mistyped. So please, please learn the spelling. Okay, now I do give partial credit if it's within a letter. So after the lab test, if you see one that you misspelled only within a letter, write down the question number and message me, and I will check that question. But spelling matters. Okay. All right, so that's our first bit. The second bit is this anatomy and physiology resource course, and these are the pictures of our actual models that are sitting in the lab room. And it's these pictures that are often, but not exclusively, used in the lab test. You must self-enroll in this course. So I'm going to click on this link, and it takes you here. If you're not already enrolled in the course, it's, I believe the blue button says enroll in course, and you click on that, and then it enrolls you in the course. If you are doing this on your phone, to get to the blue button, you do have to like slide, but to the side, not swipe up or down, but to the side. To get to this blue button, because you see it's way off the side here. And then once you are enrolled in the course, then you click on the blue go to the course. Maybe. There we go. Back in the corner. Okay. And here is your lab resource course. Here there's a list of the faculty. Here are some videos on study tips and techniques for Professor Bob Long, so watch those, because Professor Bob Long. And then we are here when biology 2401 models and histology. Now in each of the sections in your lab book, at the end of the section, there's a review and practice exercise. Let's see if I can find one really flipping fast. Okay, so here's one, an exercise, lab report, and then they usually have, and this is my favorite part, a picture with unlabeled picture where you can fill in the blank. So I recommend that you do these. Some people pull them out, put them in a clear plastic sheet protector so that they can do them over and over, write on them with a dry erase marker, although for those tiny lines you would need a fine or even an ultra fine dry erase marker to mark on those clear plastic sheet protectors, and then check your spelling, wipe it, do it again. And right here are the answers to those lab review and practice sheets. So here you can do the work and then check to make sure you've got it right. There are terms on there that we are not covering, so make sure you're focusing your time on the terms that are in the lab booklet. So here, if we click on Lab Practical 1, this is what we will see. Give it a second to scroll. There we go. So we start with a picture of the levels of organization. And here you have molecular, cellular, tissue, organ system, and organism. Okay, and so on the lab test, there would be a picture of one of these, or even this picture with an arrow, named the level of organization at the pointer. And you would say, if it pointed here, cellular, tissue, organ system, organism. Okay. Now, if the question on the lab test is name this level of organization, and you say that's the urinary system, then that answer is wrong because it did not answer the question, although this is in fact the urinary system. Okay, so be very careful to read the question and make sure that you're answering the question. If the question here is name the organ, and you say, well, it's the organ level of organization, then that's also not for credit. You need to answer the question. So what level of organization is this? Organ. What organ is it? A heart. So that's how that works. And again, the terms in here are the right answers on the test. Okay, let's just look at a few more to give you some ideas. And here are the directional, you can do the directional terminologies, the planes, and also the regions. You've got cephalic and axillary, abdominal, pelvic, and all of these different body regions. And I believe the next picture is the back of the little lady model. There you go. Lumbar, popliteal. So this is a way, and a lot of people like to, again, print these pictures out, put them in those clear plastic sheet protectors, use their dry erase markers to label them. If you're looking at the pictures in the book that are labeled, let me find you a good example here. There we go, we'll do the bone histology. If you're looking at that and reading the labels, your brain's saying, yeah, those are right. That's accurate. And then you're only cementing it into your head so far. What you need to do is ask your brain the question, what is that thing? And make your brain come up with an answer and write it down, because you think you know how to spell it until you go to write it down. Trust me, I think I know how to spell things until I try to write them down on a board in front of a group of 30 or 60 students, and suddenly I am a lot less sure. So definitely practice writing it. And asking your brain the question, quizzing yourself is key, especially in lab. A lot in lecture, but even more so in lab, to make your brain come up with these terms off the top of your head. Our lecture tests are multiple guess, A, B, C, D, or E. You only have to recognize the right answer when you see it. We'll also have some true, false, maybe a few matching. At least a picture on each test. But the lab tests are all pictures, and there's no word bank, and there's nothing to choose from. It's just you and a blank and an ID, the body region at the pointer. And if you can't say antebrachial off the top of your head and spell it right, then you won't get those points. Okay, so while lab is only worth 300 points out of our 1,000-point class and lecture's worth 500, the lab tests are actually a little harder because you need not just a recognition level of knowledge, but a recall level of knowledge. You have to pull these terms out of your brain at the drop of a hat. And it is a timed test. All of the tests are timed. So definitely, like the lecture material, you need to know it, but this lab stuff, you got to know it like off the top of your head within like a minute and spell it correctly. Know it. You got to know it, like in your sleep, know it. Okay. All right. Let's go back to where we were. Click, click, click. One more. There we are. Okay. So your primary resource here is your lab booklet. Your secondary resource are the pictures of the actual lab models. Your tertiary resource, and I do have these what to learn pages in lecture and lab in the order that I think you need them, in the order of importance. And then we have my lectures for lab. So again, I have them both embedded and linked because I read embedded was better than linked. I read linked was better than embedded, and I am new to this, so we're doing both. So if you could please let me know which you find more useful. We'll go, we might just go with both, but if one definitely works consistently better than the other, let me know. And you can click, sorry, as it says on this 3-line with a little arrow icon in the top right corner, and then you can scroll through the videos and watch them right here, although you can also click on these and watch them right here. Oh look, it's the levels of organization. So these are my spiels that I would be giving you in lab if we were having a face-to-face class. This video got jacked up. It needs to be replaced. I need to go to school to do it. I go to Corpus about once a month, maybe, but I will do that in the next few weeks. So, and I need to do slide videos for all of the labs. I don't have slide videos yet, so that needs to be done. But the rest of this is ready for you, ready to go. It's the whole test worth minus these last 2 videos, and we've got about 3 weeks before the first lab test. The first lab test is, I have my schedule taped to my desk here, let me move the book, on 9/17. It will open Wednesday morning, 9/16 at 12:01 a.m., so it is available to you for 48 hours minus the 2 minutes. And then it will close Thursday, 9/17 at 11:59 p.m. That lab test is 75 questions. 75 points, 50 questions at a 1.5 each for a total of 75 questions. And with the lecture test that same Monday, 9/14, which is 100 points, that'll be 175 points for that week. And we do generally have the first lecture and lab test on the first week. So that's kind of the standard schedule. So Plus, they cover a lot of the same material. In fact, there are about 3 videos in the lecture material that I usually don't cover in lecture because we cover them in lab. So I did record those. If you've already done the lab, usually we're a little ahead in lab of where we are in lecture. So like when we get to the cell video in lecture, I will assume that you already know these cell structures from learning them in lab. So although the lecture test is first and the lab test is second, 3 days is not enough time to learn all of this lab material. You 100% need to be working on both lecture and lab every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, both lecture and lab. So maybe lecture in the morning, lab at night, half hour of each, an hour of each. And another thing, I can't tell you how much you're going to need to study because every brain processes differently. There are some students who can just sit through my lectures, maybe watch the videos, read the book, get an A on the test, and be perfectly fine and not have to actually study. The rest of us need to study our butts off. For some people, that's an hour a day for lecture, an hour a day for lab, both. For some people, it's 3 hours of both. And so you're just going to have to find out what works best for you. And that is one of my goals for you for this semester, is not just to learn the material, which is of course my main goal for you this semester, but also to learn how you learn. And what do you need? Do you need to build a nest, a comfortable place that's pretty and has all your favorite office equipment? I like highlighters and the sparkle pens. And so I have highlighters and sparkle pens so that I have that little bit of when I sit down at my desk, because sitting down at your desk isn't always a fun thing to do. And never, ever, ever put like unpaid bills or something on top of your schoolwork, or you'll never touch them. No, don't ever. School gets its own space. So, all right, I was talking about that. Okay, so let's check our next, where to find resources. Here's my page for extra resources for Lab 1. I do have Quizlets for y'all for lab. There are not Quizlets for lecture. I didn't make Quizlets for lecture because my logic at the time was I wanted people to actually show up to class because I'm kind of a homebody and I only leave the house to be social, and here's my social time in the house. Okay. But the lab Quizlets were made several years ago now, maybe 5 years ago now. I don't remember. So they do use some of the older terms. So where the terms are different, we are using the up-to-date terms from the new lab booklet that you do have a digital copy of. There is a Quizlet class join link if you already have a Quizlet account, which you can get free with an email. Feel free to do that, although it's not required because I have both linked them here and embedded them here. Again, I don't know which is best. Although I think it looks compelling to have them embedded. So. And the thing I like is this right here, the choose a study mode. I embedded all of them on the learn, where you have to get it right twice to dismiss the term. But you can switch it to match, learn, test, flashcards, or spell. And the spell, I think, is especially handy this semester with an online-only course because it will show you the... Shouldn't hear anything, but okay. It will show you the picture, and you have to type in the term the way I typed it. Okay, never actually played this, but you have to type it the way I typed it in order to get it correctly. So this is a good chance to practice typing the spelling correctly, because typing is its own thing. If you're not very good at typing, if typing is an issue for you, then please practice typing these words, not just spelling them, but also the typing, because the fill in the blank does not recognize typos as close enough. So here are the Oh, and there is a slides Quizlet, so this is probably the closest we have to the slides information for now. I will say that these, let's see, flashcards. Flashcards should just, okay. The models are intentionally different than our models that we are using for class. And again, I did that intentionally because I want you to learn the structure and not one artist's interpretation of the structure. And so I do, when I can, use pictures or models that we do not have access to at school, so that you are learning the ones at school. You will be tested on the ones at school. But I want you to also recognize the structure, how it actually exists in the body, and not just how one artist happened to draw or sculpt it. So basically what I'm saying is I don't want to hear a bunch of complaints about okay. I don't want to hear a bunch of complaints about the pictures on the Quizlet did not match the test. Of course they don't match the test. They're not supposed to match the test. They're supposed to be an accessory, an additional resource for you to learn more. That being said, down here is the, I forgot the lab 1 print. Let me write that down. Lab 1 print. Lab 1 print. Okay, so I won't show you the Lab 1 print because I forgot to link it, but it is 15 unlabeled JPEGs from the book. Looking at labeled pictures does not help get the information into your head. It reinforces that recognition level of knowledge. Recognition level of knowledge of all of these terms is an F on the test because there's no right answer for you to recognize. If you do not know it off the top of your head, boom, 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 spelled right, typed correctly, and all of that, then it is not for credit, okay? You can know it, but not know it well enough to pass this test. Third blink, so you know I'm serious. All right, so my suggestion is to print these in black and white, color each structure a different color, and then put the name of that structure on the back of the page in that color. And that way you've made a giant flashcard from what you've printed off. Some people will, if it prints on the top half of the page, put the answer on the bottom half and then fold it under. It still makes it a flashcard either way. And then put it, I have clear plastic sheet protectors somewhere, but I've moved desks. So I'm looking at a pile of 3 boxes and 2 plastic milk crates that I have not unpacked since I moved desks last week. So it was not my idea to move desks the week before school started. But it is a very nice desk. So regardless, I'm off topic again. Oh, clear plastic sheet protectors. Write the name in a dry erase marker. Again, a fine or ultra fine would probably be better so that you can fit it on your sheet. And then check your spelling and then wipe it and do it again. My other recommendation for you is before you watch the videos, I want you to take the book and these terms and find them in the test. Find them in the book and highlight in the reading here, highlight the terms that we're learning. Not all the terms, just the ones that we're learning, and read the description. Sometimes the picture does a terrible job of describing the region that the term means. It's especially bad for region terms. And then I want you to take your booklet and find all of those terms that we are learning in every single picture where they show up in the book and highlight the terms that we are learning. we're on this picture, we're learning maybe 2/3 of the terms. In the book overall, over 2 semesters, we're learning between 1/4 and 1/3 of the terms in that book. And if the term is not in the booklet, which 2/3 to 3/4 are not in the booklet, then they are wrong answers on the lab test. So my suggestion is to highlight the ever-loving Hades out of your book, but only those terms that are right answers on the test. And also, of course, I expect you to put some little notes here to help you remember what's going on. Excuse me. I gotta take it. Okay. So definitely highlight and color code. If you're a visual, you need to color code. Okay, here's the how to earn points. 75 points, 75 of them are the test. There's no OEOs for lab. There is a pre-test, or will be a pre-test. I hope to get the test and pre-test set up by the end of this week. And I hope to include in the announcement for the beginning of next week that the test is at least up and the pre-test is available. And the pretest will help you check your tech. If you have not yet downloaded the lockdown browser, go back to that first page today and download the lockdown browser, and I will hopefully have by next Monday the test and pretest ready, and then you can test your tech and make sure that you got that lined up. And next is the next module, so we will record that video later. And message me with questions. DMing me here in the inbox is the best way to get a hold of me. You can also email me at rjones32@delmar.edu. And if you click on the weekly announcements, here at the bottom is the link to my office hour. My office hour is Monday through Friday, noon to 1. Wait in the lobby, and then I'll let you in the order you showed up. But after 5 minutes with no students, questions, or science jokes, office hour will be terminated for the day. Email me with questions anytime. DM me here on Canvas is best. And if you have a tech issue, here's the help desk phone number and their email. So, and I will record a video for this. I had unexpected video issues. The rest of your videos I uploaded at midnight last night, and then when I woke up this morning, they hadn't loaded at all. And so it wasn't until afternoon that they all got loaded. So that's why I'm just now making this video now. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. The education must go on. Let me get my keyboard out so that I can turn the video off. Command, Control, Escape. Have a good one.